Saltfish stew is what I like. So do. Give me day and night. I like your food, so don't find me rude. My favorite, I sure every man in here already eat it. Saltfish, nothing in the world sweeter than saltfish. English cod or local Bajan. It's sweeter than meat. When you out to eat, all saltfish sweet. Very well, I like the taste, though the smell sometimes out of place. It's hard to take, but make no mistake, I want you to know, it's because it's extra sweet, it's smelling so boy. Saltfish, big money does run behind it. Saltfish, man does lick the man to find it. Saltfish, it's sweeter than meat. When you out to eat, all saltfish sweet. Some like it hot, some like it cold. No matter what, I take it young or old. When it's served with wine, man, just chew it fine. Put no pepper, the bone in the center does be sweet like sugar. Saltfish, yeah. Some men does get drunk to taste it. Some does go on high to face it. It's sweeter than meat. When you out to eat, all saltfish sweet.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. I want to say big ups to everybody locked in from near, from far. Welcome to what we call the night shift with DJ Kevin Stewart's Healthy Love Night.
Is what I like, so do. Give me day and night. I like your food, so don't find me rude. My favorite, I sure every man in here already eat it. Saltfish, nothing in the world sweeter.
I don't think I need to tell y'all who this is.
English cod or local Bajan.
I don't think I need to tell you which song this is.
It's sweeter than meat. When you out to eat, all saltfish.
I want to say big ups to the massive locked in on TuneIn Radio. The night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Those hailing from across the pond. Top of the morning to you over there in the UK. King Genius, Queen Genius. All the One Harmony Radio massive.
Sometimes out.
Blessings to you.
I do take, but make no mistake, I want you to know, it's because it's extra sweet, it's smelling so boy. Saltfish, big money does run behind it.
I say big ups to the New Jersey massive.
Man does lick the man to find it.
Locked in on NIE Radio. My brother from another mother, the motivator.
When you out to eat, all saltfish sweet. Some like it hot, some like
also to New Jersey.
No matter what,
Mix102.com.
When it's
there's a sister station in Jamaica, Earth 96 FM.
Put no pepper.
Blessings to you all. Sitting well.
Like sugar.
Go on to the work, sir.
Some men,
much love, much respect.
Some does go on high to face it. It's sweeter than meat. When you out to eat, all salt is sweet.
I want to say big ups to those who are locked in on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. The veteran in the business, Mr. Lindsay. Those on YouTube Live. Blessings to you, Elaine. How you doing? to the massive locked in on at the home of the night with the DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.
So
Welcome to you, and you.
I like your food, so don't find me rude. My favorite, I show every man.
To the massive locked in on Zeno FM. I almost forgot you. Bubbling in the stew pot.
English quarter local Bajan. It's sweeter than meat when you out to eat hot salt.
So it's Healthy Love Night. And I don't know, it's one of the healthiest things you can consume, I guess. Because if the mighty sparrow can say, boy, it's sweeter than meat, now you know what to eat.
Very well, I like the taste, though the smell sometimes out of place. It's hard to
Glad you could join, Elaine.
make no mistake. I want you to know it's because it's extra sweet. It
I
smells.
want to say thank you to my segment sponsors.
Big money does run big.
I want Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation,
Man does lick down man.
OJLDF.
It's sweeter than meat. When
The foundation is committed to protecting justice and equality for everyone,
Some like-
especially individuals who have been wrongfully accused, marginalized, or deprived of fair legal representation.
it's served with wine, man
They believe every person deserves the opportunity to defend their rights regardless of their financial circumstances.
some men does get wrong to
And with the understanding that democracy is central to Jamaican identity and institutions,
face it.
there's a recognition and a number of Jamaicans saying they do not trust the government has increased to the breaking point of government instability. And OJLDF is dedicated to defeating the threat to democracy and also to hold public officials accountable. If you want to know how they're going about doing it,
I would die.
do visit the website ojldf.org.
May I
That's ojldf.org.
bury me in this
See how you can get involved.
any morning with a saltfish picture on the tombstone say.
Also, do remember to catch the broadcast on Saturdays. It's called Reason with Rattigan. Happens at 3 p.m. Reggae Global Radio and affiliates and on YouTube. And on a Wednesday night, come Reason with Rattigan.
Is what I like. So do.
They break down the work for you.
I like your food.
They make the information easily accessible and easily digestible.
Sure, every man in here already eat it.
Thank you, OJLDF.
Nothing in the world sweeter than
I want to say thank you to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands.
English quarter local.
Althea is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broward County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach counties.
How to eat hot saltfish.
So if you're in the Fort Lauderdale area, North Miami, or South Palm Beach, you want a massage, you don't want to go to a massage parlor, you would love for the masseuse to come to you, well, there's a massage therapist that you can call.
Very well, I like the taste.
The number is 954-655-9000.
Sometimes out of place, it's hard to take, but make no mistake.
Schedule your appointment today or gift somebody a massage. You might know somebody in one of those areas that
Big money,
they've been a little bit tense lately.
fish,
They could use a massage.
finest.
Call up Althea, see what her schedule is.
It's sweeter than meat when you out to eat.
Go ahead and gift that person a massage.
Some like it hard, some like
Couples, you can get yours too.
no matter what. I take
So she comes to you, bringing her table, her oils, and her experience.
let's do it.
She only has one request outside of paying her. It's that you get off her table and go sleep somewhere else when she's done.
Sweet like sugar. Soft.
It's called the Kevin Stew Clause.
Some men that
Because I guarantee you, if you're anything like me, you'll fall asleep as soon as she gets started. Thank you, Althea.
sweeter than meat when you out to eat.
I
Also,
want to say thank you to the Global Base. Global Base, Global Digital. Navigate your journey across music, event marketing, and more. It's a realm where social spheres awaken through their mastery, so go ahead and embrace the invitation to liberate your creativity unbounded and free. Just like their consultation. Free. The Global Bass is your catalyst for everything related to music production, radio, and event promotion. Visit them on their website, daglobalbase.com. That's theglobalbase.com. Tell them Kevin Steele sent you. I want to say thank you to McNeil Trucking. McNeil Trucking is a veteran-owned, licensed, and insured mover in the state of Florida. So if you want to move from the Keys to Jacksonville, Naples to Palm Beach, Pompano to Pensacola, and all points in between. Want to put some things in storage, take some things out of storage, pick up something from a thrift store or around the corner, drop off something to a friend or a neighbor. You don't have the manpower, you don't have the transportation, don't worry, you have the name, you have the number. McNeil Trucking, 954-406-9740. When you out to eat, give him a call today. Tell him you heard about him on night shift to DJ Kevin Steele. McNeil Trucking. They have your goods in good hands. Even if you want to move out of the state or into the state of Florida, they got you. Just call them up.
Very well, I like the taste, though the smell sometimes out of place. It's hard to take, but make no mistake, I want you to know.
I want to say big ups to my sister from another Mr. G Angel.
Fish, big money does run behind.
How things with you?
Fish, man does lick down man to find it soft. It's sweeter than meat when you out to eat.
The sound of the mighty Sparrow.
Some like it hard.
Track called Saltfish.
No matter what, I take it young or old. When it's served with wine, man, just chew it fine. Put no pepper. The bone in the center does be sweet like sugar. Saltfish. Some men does get wrong to taste it. Some does go on high to face it. It's sweeter than meat. When you are
just to remind you, the phone line is always open. So if you want to participate, you can call, you can text 773-789-STEW. The number is scrolling across the bottom of your screen for those of you who are watching right now. It's 773-789-7839. Call, text, WhatsApp, Telegram, they all work. Get you live and in living color connected right here. 773-789-7839.
bury me in the cemetery any morning with a saltfish picture on the tomb.
So, for those of you who didn't see the post this week, tonight's topic is the brain-gut connection. And I don't know what you think about when you hear the brain-gut connection, but there's this really interesting relationship between your brain and your gut. First of all, one of the things that we've always talked about is the importance of gut health and how it helps to really give an idea of your overall health. One of the things that is not really taken into consideration a lot of time is your brain as it relates to your gut. We don't think about that. We think gut health and immediately we think physical health. But we don't really think mental health. And it's one of those things that we should give a little bit of time to, give a little bit of dedication, give a little bit of thought, because it could make a world of a difference. And I used saltfish as kind of a stimulant because, one, it gets some people thinking. Two, it gets some people hungry. So you're using up those two organs. Using up the brain, you're using up the stomach. Because if you get hungry, you're gonna have to put something down there, right? Merle to the world, big ups to you. How you doing? So, the gut and the brain, they happen to be linked by a two-way communication network called the gut-brain axis. I don't know how many of you have heard of it. It's a thing. Trillions of microbes in your digestive tract produce vital mood-regulating chemicals like serotonin, meaning an imbalance in the gut can directly influence stress, anxiety, and emotional well-being. So, if you're feeling a little bit off emotionally, it might be because of something going on in your gut. That's what it boils down to. Now, the brain and the gut communicate in a few ways. There's the vagus nerve, which is a physical superhighway directly connecting the digestive system to the brain. They're chemical messengers. Roughly 90% of your body's serotonin, which controls mood and happiness, is made in the gut. You know that gut feeling? Yeah. Then there's immune response. An unhealthy gut can cause low-grade inflammation, which travels to the brain and affects mental health. So this is just a quick, rough overview to give you an idea of what happens when we talk about gut health and mental health being related. The gut brain or brain gut axis, the brain gut connection. Some signs of a disrupted gut brain connection includes frequent bloating, gas, or stomach pain, unexplained brain fog or trouble focusing, persistent feelings of anxiety or low mood, sleep disturbances, and ongoing fatigue. If you're tired all the time, you're not getting enough sleep, something might be going on in the gut. Or it might be just because your gut not the right size anymore. Which means something going on with you, something going on with your gut, something going on with your mood, your sleep patterns, all connected. As we go through the night and look at some of these pieces of research, some of these articles, you'll realize that there are some ways that you can go about to support gut and mental health. Because one thing we will realize at the end of the night is you improve your gut health, you will improve your mental health. Now, so you'd think then, all right, we need to lead with the gut. You know, that is not necessarily a bad idea. Why is that not necessarily a bad idea? Well, it's simple. Overall, your gut health dictates your overall health. So, why not lead with the gut? Recently, I came across an article courtesy of Wired. And when I say recently, this article is dated August 17, 2026. So you do the math. And it says there's a new link between gut health and Alzheimer's disease. I saw the title and I was like, who would have thunk it? But this is what the people say. Researchers found that a metabolite produced by gut bacteria can weaken the barrier that protects the brain and promotes changes associated with cognitive disease. How recently did people discover this? Did scientists realize this? I'm a bit low, Elaine. Okay. Am I a little bit louder now? My levels look good over here, so you can tell me. For years, scientists have known that the gut microbiome of people with Alzheimer's differs from that of healthy people. What remains unclear is whether these differences are a consequence of the disease, contribute to it, or simply just accompany it. It is possible that part of the puzzle lies in the gut bacteria themselves. But in the gut molecules they produce, which end up circulating through the body. So it's not in the gut itself, not in the bacteria that is living in the gut. It is more along the lines of the byproduct of these of the bacteria. Now, a team of scientists believe that it has found one such molecule. In a study published in Nature Communications, the researchers identified imidazole propionate. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it. It is simply abbreviated IMP. Now, we all can have an idea of what an imp is. But it's a compound produced by certain gut bacteria as a possible link between microbiome and Alzheimer's disease. And this is what scientists have been kind of locking into. The hypothesis put forward by the researchers begins in the gut. Bacteria use an amino acid called histidine. And by metabolizing it, it produces IMP. Now, some of this molecule can enter the bloodstream and circulate throughout the body. That's expected, right? Things that happen in the gut tends to get circulated throughout the rest of the body. The problem begins at the brain's border, however. Experiments in the new study indicate that IMP, can weaken the blood-brain barrier, which protects the brain and controls what substances can pass into it by way of the blood. A less effective barrier can help the metabolite enter the brain. And this is where researchers found that it can interact directly with neurons. Now, we know how the brain works, right? Firing, when you talk about firing on all cylinders, it's literally firing and sending off messages by way of nerve endings. Now, this is where two key players in Alzheimer's disease come into play. The amyloid beta and tau proteins, those two. In a brain affected by Alzheimer's, amyloid beta accumulates, forming plaques between neurons. Tau, for its part, undergoes abnormal changes that alter its function and promote the formation of harmful structures within cells. Both phenomena are closely linked to neuronal deterioration and constitute two of the disease's main biological hallmarks. In the experiments, IMP appears to have the ability to exacerbate both. The researchers found that it can promote the accumulation of amyloid beta plaques and increase tau modification through a process known as phosphorylation. Phosphorylation. That's one too many L's. It's phosphorylation. Yeah. Any side effects with that? Um, any side effects with what exactly, Elaine? I'm sorry, I didn't. I was just catching up and missed when you posted that question. And greetings, truth telling to heal. So the model presented in the study functions as a chain. Certain gut bacteria produce IMP. The metabolite enters the bloodstream. It can compromise the blood-brain barrier and reach to the brain. And once it is there, it promotes changes related to amyloid beta and tau. It's IMP, Elaine. And again, the IMP is imidazole, and I say it that way so that you can catch a spelling. It's imidazole. It's imidazole propionate, right? And according to Wired.com, they're saying scientists have found that, hey, excuse me, this IMP, as it circulates in the body, certain things are happening. And when it gets to the brain and now plaque starts forming between the neurons, and the signals don't fire the way they're supposed to. And this is one of the things that they've recently started connecting the dots and putting the pieces together and realizing, hey, wait a minute. This is what is going on here, and it's starting in the gut. Interesting, right? In the experiments, IMP appears to have the ability to bother both the tau and the plaque. The model presented in the study functions as a chain. But because a biological explanation is coherent, it doesn't mean that the entire chain is actually occurring. And it doesn't mean that it's happening in the body. To test the extent of this relationship, the researchers first looked for evidence of it in humans and then tested different parts of the mechanism in mice and cells. So, of course, they see where it's happening. Okay, let's go ahead and test our theories. Let's put them to the test. Let's see what we get when we put some of this into action. And we're gonna get to some of their testing and some of their findings in a moment. Well, we're gonna find that out in a little bit, Elaine. But first, I want to remind you guys of a few things. We're gonna take a quick little break. I want to remind you that the book Empowered: Essential Concepts and Strategies Every Woman Should Know About Self-Defense is available, and the audiobook is also available. The paperback is authored by Jonathan Field. The audiobook is narrated by yours truly, Kevin Stew. It's available on Audible. If you visit kevinstew.com, you'll see a picture of the book cover. Go ahead and click on it. It takes you to exactly where you need to be to download a copy. Get one for yourself, get one for a friend. It's not expensive. Just go on over there and get one. Empowered: Essential Concepts and Strategies Every Woman Should Know About Self-Defense. Get a copy today.
On October 28th, Melissa, a Category 5 hurricane, turned her wrath upon her homeland, Jamaica. In the aftermath, thousands of homes were destroyed, lives, pets, and livestock were lost, and dreams and hopes dashed. Resilient as we Jamaicans are known to be, our brothers and sisters on the island need our help now. To this end, the One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation, OJLDF, has launched its official fundraiser. Please donate generously at ojldf.net. We are depending on each and every one of you to get the most needed supplies to our people at home. Go to ojldf.net. That's ojldf.net and hit the donate button today. Thank you.
Imagine having our own Caribbean Center.
Imagine a museum highlighting our history and the contributions of Caribbean people to the world.
Imagine being able to visit and learn about the islands we call home.
In a place where our kids can see and feel their cultural heritage.
Your contribution to Island Space Caribbean Museum will help this dream come true.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe
and donate today.
Get your Miracle Fire Rub for all joint pain, poor circulation, inflammation, and other aches and pain. Rub it on, the pain is gone. Rub it twice, then you feel nice. Miracle Fire Rub is all natural, all herbal with no side effects. Order yours today, 876-808-5903 or call 876-372-1366. Miracle Fire Rub. Rub it on, pain is gone. Rub it twice, then you feel nice.
Yes. Akar Mantino, I'm making notes right now. You are locked in to DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift.
Born by the water, grow by the sun. I was born. Hey, born. Look at now, I was born rich, born billionaire. So them don't know, alright, them never hear. You see the melanin in my skin, my kinky hair. Ooh, my curly locks, fire in my eyes. I can see that they are scared. Cause if I go in at the sun right now, it's a give I energy. Some of them are must see vampire, them can't go out there. I give the tree carbon dioxide and they give I oxygen. Me never see Babylon. Why they want to tax me then? I was born rich, born billionaire. Some of them don't know. Give I the only water we grow in the air and in no grow palm drum. Coconut, see I and I is a living ecosystem. Excuse me, you're in the presence of a sovereign. I was born rich, born billionaire. Some of them don't know, alright, them never hear. You see the carbon in my skin, my kinky hair. Ooh, my curly locks, fire in my eyes. I can see that they are scared. What I know about generational wealth? Know some man would do it for themselves. What you know about unweedable rems? Man samosa meds. Me no know how to sit down and wait for help. No sir, nah put no stress for me head. Yo mad, nah sabotage for myself. So me work smart and be loyal for myself.
The sound of Jadon. A track called Melanin Air. As we come back from the break, I want to thank you for still being here. Thank you for those who joined in. I want to invite you to call a friend, tell a friend, friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends, and your enemies too. Call somebody, anybody, everybody, because it's time for the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. It's Healthy Love Night. And tonight, we're addressing the subject of the brain-gut connection. As Tiz said, you'll hear it mentioned as we go through the night too. It's a thing called the brain-gut axis. And before we went off on the break, we've realized that courtesy of what is happening in the gut, a bacterium producing this protein, that when it circulates through the body, it gets to the brain, it does a little bit of fanciness. And this can cause a little bit of issues, according to what scientists are realizing. Now, the scientists realized and analyzed the IMP levels in the blood of 1,196 cognitively healthy adults with the mean age of 61.2 years. Now, I don't know who is 0.2 years old, but if you're 61.2 years old, you're probably able to be a part of this study. So the scientists found these people. Those with higher levels of metabolites scored on average worse on cognitive tests. They also had higher levels of p-tau 217, which is a modified form of the tau protein. And this is used as a biomarker for Alzheimer's and of NFL, not the National Football League. No. It's a protein released in greater quantities when neurons are damaged. Now, both can be measured in the blood and provide clues to changes in the brain even before symptoms appear. The researchers also had access to cognitive tests and biomarker measurements taken over time. When comparing people with the highest and lowest levels of IMP, they found that the former group showed faster cognitive decline over time. So it's the people that have the higher levels of IMP. The researchers administered IMP for months to two groups of mice genetically modified to develop characteristics of Alzheimer's disease. The results were consistent. The metabolite worsened the signs of the disease. And in some animals, amyloid beta plaques increased. In others, tau abnormalities and the reaction of astrocytes came into play. The astrocytes are cells involved in protecting and maintaining the brain. So what happened with them is they worsened. So the brain protection got less. Now, several of the bacteria capable of producing IMP can also be found in healthy people. And IMP producing bacteria are present in a large fraction of people, but they're not very abundant in most people. And this is according to Frederica Ray, who is co-author of the study and a professor of bacteriology at the University of Wisconsin. And in a statement, he said, something we have learned over the years is that a microbe doesn't have to be abundant to have an impact on the host. You know the saying, small axe fall big trees? Well, and a little bit goes a long way. This is it right here. Some bacteria possess the machinery necessary to produce IMP, but having them in the gut does not necessarily mean that a person will accumulate large amounts of metabolite. The concentration that ultimately reaches the bloodstream appears to depend on a combination of factors. The researchers found differences related to age, sex, genetics, while previous studies have also linked IMP production to diet and the composition of the microbiome. For the same reason, having bacteria capable of producing IMP does not mean that a person will develop Alzheimer's. Age, genetics, metabolic and vascular factors, among others, still play a role in the risk of developing the disease. Now, while it would seem to make sense that you would develop a drug that would eliminate or deactivate the microorganisms that produce the molecule, there's caution that the situation is more complex than just that. The bacteria produce IMP by metabolizing histidine, an essential amino acid that the body needs and that is present in a lot of foods. And it's particularly present in protein-rich food. For the researchers, a more promising approach would be to target IMP itself on the bacterial machinery that produces it. They compare the idea of treatment of high cholesterol, just as introducing statins into the body lowers bad cholesterol to reduce cardiovascular risk. An inhibitor capable of reducing the concentration of IMP in the blood could one day be developed. So to answer your question, Elaine, is there a way to slow it down or stop it if it is detected early? Well, not yet. Why? Because it is something that is just now being realized. Like I said, this information was released just about 24 hours ago. And you can find the article courtesy of wired.com. Now, Health Matters, courtesy of NYP.org, which is New York Presbyterian. In their magazine, Healthy Matters, the gut-brain axis is an article that talks about it, that talks about how your gut impacts your mental health. And back in 2025, there was a gastroenterologist that explains the connection between gastrointestinal tract and the brain, and how diet and nutrition can be linked to mental well-being. I guess if you feel good, you'll be good. And if you eat the right things, you'll feel good. So you stay good. Right, Goody? Right. So there's a powerful connection between our guts and our brain. And we have come to realize this, and it is known as the gut-brain axis. Like I said, we'll be talking about that and reminding you of that's what it's called as we go through the remainder of this broadcast. The gut, or the GI tract, the gastrointestinal tract, is constantly sending signals to the brain. And so please keep in mind, when reference is made to the gut, we're not talking about your stomach. We're talking about the whole belly area, this section of the digestive system that receives and breaks down and reabsorbs nutrients from foods. So the gut, the intestines, large, small, and stomach, all that. It is constantly sending signals to the brain, telling us if we're hungry, full, even when it's time to use the bathroom. The axis runs the other way also. Our mental health or emotional state can lead to physical sensations in the gut. Like about butterflies in the stomach. It's not because you eat caterpillars. Now, for some people, their gut feels worse when they've got a whole lot more going on. When they're not sleeping enough, or when they're preoccupied with various stressors. And please don't turn to your partner and as I talk about stressors. It will only cause more stress. Don't do it. And this is according to Dr. Benjamin Lebwall. He's a gastroenterologist at New York Presbyterian Columbia University Irving Medical Center. And I might tell you, I'm quite fascinated by the work that gastroenterologists do, because there's no way that one can just sit down for a moment and look at a system and say, oh, it's just this. Especially a system like the GI tract. There's so much going on. Now, the gut is sometimes called the brain in the bowel, according to Dr. Lebral. I don't know who calls it that, who refers to it as that. GI specialists must do it, I guess. And this reflects the finding that we have a tremendous amount of neural activity originating from the gut. Weird, right? Health Matters spoke to Dr. Lebwall to learn more about the gut-brain axis and the gut's role in our mental health. And the question is asked, what is the gut-brain axis? Dr. Lebwall says, hey, this is the universal phenomenon of a connection between the workings of the gut and the doings of our consciousness and our awareness. We all have a gut-brain axis. Once food hits the stomach and before it heads out as a bowel movement, anywhere in between the gut or the gastrointestinal tract, this is where all the magic happens. And the gut is also home to neurons that send messages to the nervous system. So there's a strong two-way crosstalk that everyone has, separate and apart from those that may have some type of debilitating disease that prevents this from happening. Now, when the gut sends a message saying it's time for you to go to the bathroom, that is your gut-brain axis at work. In other situations, something makes us anxious, stressed even, and we experience nausea or queasiness. In still or other situations, environmental cues will affect our gut health. For some people, when they travel far from their home, they might not have a bowel movement for a few days because their gut is basically going on strike. It's saying, listen, I don't know this place where you're at. I don't like it. Let me get comfortable before I can do anything. The notion that the gut has its own nervous system has been around for decades. And so the question has been around too, is the gut-brain axis a relatively new discovery? No. A lot of this work has been pioneered by Dr. Michael Gershon, a professor of pathology and cell biology at New York Presbyterian Columbia, who wrote a book called The Second Brain. And this is referring to our guts. For example, after we eat and as the particles go through us, we're not feeling every single one of those contractions as food is broken down. Sometimes we might feel cramps or we might hear our stomach growling. Yeah, I name mine. His name is Oscar because he's quite a grouch. But we generally don't feel this activity that is actually happening all the time. The gut has its own nervous system, and it is always at work. A main sign of a healthy gut is when you're not thinking about it too much. The gut sends progress reports to the conscious brain. For example, go to the toilet, or there might be some gas coming, or that last meal you ate just was not quite right. These progress reports, while necessary, are not always welcome. Sometimes you get that signal to go to the bathroom and the time that just not appropriate. Yeah. So in many cases, no news is good news. A sign of a problem is when we get lots of progress reports, whether that's discomfort, pain, bloating, the need to go to the toilet excessively, or feeling constipated. While it is important to be in touch with your body, there is such a thing as too much information. Too much of anything is not good for you. Yeah. After you have a large meal, you'd love your gut to take care of it without giving too much feedback on how it went. My take on it is don't have too large a meal. There was a time in my life that I would eat like there is no tomorrow. Funny enough, I was a slimmer person then. But I digress. Another question is, how are gut health and mental health connected? The gut contains serotonin. We learned this from the first segment. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter chemical that affects one's moods. Antidepressants often act on receptors for serotonin, and increasingly, it is seen to be beneficial for mood. It turns out there's a lot more serotonin in our gut than in our brain. Go figure. So that in part explains this sort of emotional connection that we might have with our gastrointestinal tract and why it is important to maintain a healthy gut. See, start connecting the dots. Now, having gastrointestinal problems can also take a toll on mental health in many ways. There's a broad array of GI conditions, from acid reflux to heartburn to irritable bowel syndrome to conditions like Crohn's disease and celiac disease. When the gut malfunctions, it can result in a very unhappy host. I know this because I have some close friends who have had some of these situations and who currently have some of these situations. You feel pain, cramping, and the need to go to the bathroom, and those feelings can interfere with your quality of life and ability to function. Now, going out to eat or on a date can be stigmatizing and embarrassing for someone with a GI condition. My take? Talk about it before you go about it. Traveling and eating out can cause anxiety because, unlike a home cooked meal, you're not quite sure if an ingredient in the food may cause a flare up. The chef put something in there that doesn't like you. Some people prefer to avoid social interaction, and that runs the risk of closing off aspects of life that are really important to us, and of course, our mental health. Because for the most part, we're social beings, right? So we need to be interacting. So then you ask the question, what foods are best for a healthy gut? Healthy gut, healthy brain. This is pretty much where we're going with this, right? It's really important to have adequate dietary fiber. You do want the fiber. Not too much. A sign of inadequate dietary fiber is when the bowel movement frequently slows. If you're not going a minimum twice a day, you might want to check out what's going on. For dietary fiber, choose whole grains as opposed to refined grains. Brown rice over white rice, and whole wheat bread over white bread. In a situation like this, when you say white is not right, you won't get in trouble. And it would kind of be appropriate. We believe that whole grains are good for the gut for a number of reasons. They take longer to digest as compared to refined grains. And so they keep you feeling full a little bit longer, which is not a bad thing. Instead of having you to feel hungry again after about an hour after you eat, you don't want that going on. They also act as a nutrient source of healthy bacteria that live in your gut. And there's a belief that having a diverse community of healthy bacteria keeps the gut functioning well. It's not dependent on any one type of bacteria. There are other foods that can be helpful for the gut also, depending on the circumstance, like kiwi. This can be very effective for managing constipation. And when you look at kiwi, there's such little fruits, but they pack a punch. They're that effective. And so there's also the question of probiotics. Some of you might remember I did a whole broadcast on probiotics and prebiotics. You can find that in the archive and listen at or watch at your leisure. There are still some questions more questions than answers about the effectiveness of probiotics and how they should be used. Most probiotics are regulated by the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, as dietary supplements, which has a much looser regulatory standard. With that said, they're very popular. And the majority of people who take them do not report side effects. A natural way to incorporate the theoretical benefit of probiotics is to consume yogurt regularly. Now, those of you who are out there in Radio Land or watching on the night shift on kevinstew.com or on YouTube Live, you know how much yogurt you've had recently, how much you want to have versus if you had any at all. And you'd also know how effective it has been for you. Yes, Merle. Ripe banana with brown bread. I have an uncle that one of his favorite snacks, breakfast, meals, foods was actually ripe banana, sliced bread, condensed milk. And it was sliced hard-o bread. Not white, not brown bread, white bread. Funny enough, I can't ever remember having that. This particular uncle, it was one of his favorite things to eat. I can't recall ever eating that. I don't know how many of you have ever had it. You can drop me a line, let me know. What was it like for you? I've never asked him. But what was it like for you? If you've had hard-o bread, banana, and condensed milk as a sandwich, a meal, how was it? How did you end up coming across such a combination? These are questions I have for my uncle. I need to call him. But let me know if you've had it and what your experience with it has been. We're going to take another quick little break. When we come back, we ask the question, what are some of the other ways that people can strengthen their gut health? And we will take a quick look at the role of the gut microbiota in anxiety, depression, and other mental health conditions. So stick around. If you leave, come back with a friend. You're vegan, Elaine? Okay. So what do you consume to make sure that you're maintaining a good, healthy gut biome? Let me know. Not because you're vegan, does it mean that you're always eating the right things? So how do you determine that you're consuming all the right things? Are you sure that you are? Let me know.
Global Digital Records, your gateway to the world stage. Music production to music rights and royalty administration. An exclusive radio promotion through the Global Digital Radio Syndicate. We don't just play your music, we position it. Broadcasting across multiple stations, reaching audiences worldwide. Contact globaldigitalrecords.com or call 954-998-8034, where your music meets the world.
Well, here it is. The Foundation Radio Network app is now available for Android and iPhones for free. Yes, you heard correctly. Just go to your Google Play Store or your Apple App Store and download the Foundation Radio Network. Big people music with the young in mind. Now you can carry the Foundation Radio Network around with you wherever you go without ever missing a beat. Listen to Clinton Lindsay Mondays through Fridays, 12 noon till 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tony Ryan Monday through Thursdays at 5 p.m. Marlon Burrell Mondays and Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Kevin Stew Mondays through Wednesday at 10 p.m. And T-Rob Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Check out Reason with Rattigan Saturdays at 3 p.m. Homegrown with G. Cole Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Hillsman comes to you Sundays and Thursdays at 9 p.m. and Brother Mitch Mondays through Fridays at 7 a.m. And check out the Foundation Radio Network Top 30 Countdowns on Fridays at 2 p.m. And don't forget to subscribe to Clinton Lindsay's YouTube channel at Clinton Lindsay Official. And cut. What are you doing, dude? You tell me somebody can direct the thing. I did not. Foundation! People just get the app.
Hey, Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions.
How high can you jump?
But you don't have to know every answer.
How many phone numbers are there?
Because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
It's Christina representing for DJ Kevin. You see me, I say, I don't know the boss. You see me, I say, DJ Kevin's 2 on the night shift radio show. Yo, it at the thing, turn up the thing loud. Whoa, DJ Kevin's 2 at the heart of a champion. Never underestimate, just choose him. The silver line behind the dark clouds. DJ Kevin's 2 believing, and that's no doubt. Salute the night shift radio show, Christina. It's a hot it up loud. The peace.
It's been a long time coming. Are you ever gonna change? Are you ever gonna to take advice for how I'm feeling? It's been a long time running, and I know you wanna stay. So I think that it is time we live like we used to. Right all around the city, singing with the top down. Let's take it back to when we were younger. It's been a long time coming, so put on a happy face. Grab my hand so we can let all of our troubles out. There's no cares tonight. Take me for a ride. Even when the stars never will align. Even when it's dark and you lose your mind. Oh, right in the moment when your head is confused. Oh, I will stay in the madness with you. Na, 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 na. Oh,
sound of Royce bringing us back from the break. Track is called Madness. What kind of madness are you into as it relates to your food? You know, some people's diets are what is considered kind of crazy, but not because it doesn't or you don't align well with their dietary practices does it mean that it's crazy. No, because of what is going on with an individual health wise, they may choose a certain type of diet that is beneficial, more beneficial to them. Generally, you want to make sure that you're having a diet that is it's quite balanced. Get the right amount of cholesterol and protein in your mix. If your protein sources are animal, know which animal you're gonna choose or which animals work with you. Know the side effects of consuming certain types of meats. Know the best time, sorry, to eat those meats. Know your blood type and if a particular type of meat is working well with your blood type or not. Little things go make a big difference as it relates to our overall health and especially our gut health. So, what are some of the other ways that people can strengthen their gut health? According to Health Matters, the most important thing anyone can do is be up to date with their screenings. In the GI world, that's colorectal cancer screenings. Everyone, even if they feel perfectly well, should have a colonoscopy. Typically, starting at the age of 45, and sometimes earlier. Excuse me. Depending on whether there is a family history of colorectal cancer or not. And it is important to underscore that colon cancer is common. 5% of us will get it in our lifetime. And the most common symptom of early colon cancer is actually no symptom. So that is where the screening comes in. I can tell you, I am yet to have a colonoscopy. And do I look forward to it? I can tell you, I do not. However, there are some things that are quite important. Elaine says, I consume things that do not affect my gastrointestinal system for umpteen years now. Meats are never a part of my meal. Exercise is you exercise every day. I can do a 3.5 mile jog, also go to the gym. My meat kinds are any kind of nuts, chopped. And Elaine says she had two relatives that passed away in the past 4 months from colon cancer. Condolences to you and the family, Elaine. And so it is. She's agreeing that this is very common. Again, another night we'll probably address certain types of cancers. I have addressed them before. If you check the archive here on YouTube, you can see that. Let's look in the under the subject of healthy love. And those of you who are new will get to see some of the areas that we've addressed here on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. So, according to the National Library of Medicine, there's an article that they published that talks about the role of gut microbiota in anxiety, depression, and other mental disorders, as well as the protective effects of dietary components. should I give you this abstract? Well, yes. And then I'll go through quickly in parts of the article. The number of individuals experiencing mental disorders like anxiety and depression has significantly risen in recent years. And you can understand why even more recently they have, because of what is going on. Yes, Elaine, I will do that test, that colon screening. With what is happening today in the world, already we've had 10 earthquakes over a magnitude 7. A magnitude 7 earthquake on anywhere in the world can be quite disastrous. And there have been 10 reported. There has been weather events, forest wildfires, there have been hurricanes, and there have been man-made disaster events like the war, or wars, plural. And so you would have a lot of anxiety. You would find quite a bit of depression. And so there would be an increase in those numbers today. It's essential to seek prevention and treatment strategies for mental disorders. And several gut microbiota, especially firmicutes and bacteriodetes, are demonstrated to affect mental health through microbiota gut-brain axis. And the gut microbiota dysbiosis can be related to mental disorders. Things like anxiety, depression, and other mental related disorders. Dietary components, including probiotics, prebiotics, and your postbiotics and symbiotics, your dairy products, spices, fruits, vegetables, medicinal herbs, and the list goes on, could exert protective effects against mental disorders by enhancing beneficial gut microbiota while suppressing harmful ones. In addition, the protective effects of dietary components on mental health through targeting the gut microbiota are talked about in this paper. And through this paper, you can find helpful tips to develop some dietary natural products into pharmaceuticals and functional foods to prevent and treat mental disorders. Really interesting paper. I'm just going to take out bits and pieces of it and give it to you. Sometimes I believe nothing is good to eat. Doctors come up with different foods every day. That's no good for human consumption. Well, it's more, well, yes, there are doctors, Elaine. Those I just refer to as scientists. And they would be developing these new foods for various reasons. Some would do it because there are these food deserts. And so there's the attempt to provide easily accessible food for these areas. Now, whether or not they are really good for consumption, now that is debatable. Someone just messaged me and said the broadcast is showing as upcoming. Uh, I let me see if I can reach out to this listener real quickly and just drop them a line to refresh and see what they're getting. Not sure where they're listening from or tuning in from or tuning in to. All right, so let's jump into this and pick out some sections real quick. Mental health is one of the United States Sustainable Developmental Goals, and mental disorders mainly include anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, autism spectrum disorder, ASD, schizophrenia, and eating disorders. In 2019, the number of individuals suffering from mental disorders was estimated to be close to 970 million, with an M. Mental disorders can influence the study, work, and normal life of patients and lead to suicide in severe situations. Like the young actress that recently passed away. Now, did they pass away from an overdose? Was it an illness? What we know is she did seemingly take her own life. More and more this is happening. More and more we are hearing these stories. Moreover, mental disorders can affect the normal life of family members of the patients who are experiencing them. Mental disorders have emerged as a significant public health concern worldwide and also leads to a huge medical burden and economic loss. You can't function properly, you can't produce properly, the money wheel doesn't roll like it's supposed to. The COVID-19 pandemic resulted in quarantine, economic decline, unemployment, etc., which has led to a marked increase in mental health problems. Now, did it lead to that, or did we become more aware of it? Still up for debate, in my opinion. Although the pandemic has gradually passed, good riddance, recovery of the economy to a normal level, quote unquote normal, has taken a long time. And the condition of lower income and unemployment, well, we see where this continues. The influences of the pandemic on mental health, especially anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, will last for quite a long time, and we have seen it lasting a long time. The gut microbiota, on the other hand, and its metabolites have a significant influence on preserving the overall health of the host. Gut microbiota dysbiosis has been reported to be associated with the occurrence and development of several chronic metabolic diseases such as obesity, diabetes, and cancers. Moreover, gut microbiota can be correlated with mental health, which has received increasing attention in recent years. It was reported that the gut microbiota could influence the brain and mental health in several ways, such as the vagus nerve, microbial regulation of neuroimmune signaling, microbiota mediated tryptophan metabolism, microbial control of neuroendocrine function, and microbial production of neuroactive compounds. In addition, you can, so those biotics are questionable. Oh, I'm sorry. Elaine says, those biotics that people take are questionable. They added too many ingredients in these lab foods also. Yes, and yes. In addition, the gut microbiota could produce and regulate neurotransmitters such as serotonin, dopamine, glutamate, which play important roles in neurological and immunological activities in the brain. Moreover, a multi-omics study based on the Lunar Place 365 experiment found Bacteroides uniformis, Roseburia inulin-vornas. Why exactly am I getting all of these scientific names for these bacteria? I don't know. But these exerted a positive effect on the maintenance of mental health by producing short chain fatty acids and regulating amino acid taurine and cortisol metabolism pathways. Now, again, this article is courtesy of Public Med Central, courtesy of the National Library of Medicine. Real quick, jumping ahead. The composition of gut microbiota is complex. Some microorganisms may protect mental health, while others may be related to the onset and development of mental health disorders. And there's a whole table of some of these study types that show the changes of gut microbiota in mental health diseases. And it shows the type of biota, the bacteria. And if there's one thing that anybody who has listened to this broadcast at any given time would have found out, is within the gut, and we mentioned it tonight too, there are a number of bacteria strains or types of bacteria that live in the gut, and they all have their particular functions. Most of it is pretty good, because up until this point, for the majority of us, we've maintained good health. And so our bacteria have been playing nice. But for some, things have gotten out of hand. One particular bacteria strain may have decided to go on revolt and be unruly and just mass produce more than anybody else and cause an imbalance. These things happen. Going down the list, anxiety is among the most common mental disorders. It is indicated that certain gut microbiota are correlated with anxiety. For example, social exclusion is one of the causes of anxiety. And a study found that an abundance of Prevotella, which is a type of microbiota, was increased, while another type, the firmicutes, and the abundance of Faecalibacterium, which is more of the fecal type, were significantly reduced in individuals with social exclusion. Moreover, a study in 198 Spanish individuals found that patients with anxiety had lower Simpson's diversity. Additionally, patients with generalized anxiety disorder, GAD, had lower microbial richness and diversity, as well as reduced levels of firmicutes and microbiota that produce SCFAs. But it goes on. And you're gonna have to do some reading on that book. Yeah, Elaine. It is it's an article, really, courtesy of the National Library of Medicine. If you visit, or if you just search, and everybody can do this, You can search for the role of gut microbiota in anxiety, depression, and other mental health and other mental disorders, as well as the protective effects of dietary components. It's a really interesting read. It's a little bit lengthy, and it does contain quite a bit of scientific named bacterium or microbiota. There was one chart that I was gonna show to you all, but again, my job is to stimulate your appetite and not satisfy your hunger. So I'll tell you that if you go looking for this article, you will find these charts. And there's one that at the center of the figure is gut microbiota and mental disorders. And you get information going out from the center. And around the focal point of gut microbiota and mental disorders are some mental disorders. You have anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, ASD, and schizophrenia. The ASD is Alzheimer's related. Then going out from that, it shows you the type of microbiota that when it increases, it reduces the level of this particular type of disorder. And when it reduces, the effects, whether it increases or decreases, or what type of microbiota, how they affect that particular type of mental disorder. It's a really interesting read. I realize I don't have as much time to go through all the information. There's another one that shows natural products targeting gut microbiota for mental disorders. And again, autism spectrum disorder, ASD, depression, anxiety, and schizophrenia are on this chart. This time, you find the natural products for targeting gut microbiota for mental disorders in the middle, and depression is on the at the furthest point, or not depression, but the mental health condition is at the furthest point. With you have the microbiota just before the depression layer, and then before that you have your fruits, veggies, probiotics, prebiotics, spices, medicinal herbs, dairy products, all on the inside. So it's really interesting information. Again, you're not going too far ahead of my program at all, Elaine. Actually, I'm gonna wrap up this section of the broadcast right now. It is the role of gut microbiota in anxiety, depression, and other mental disorders. Look that up, courtesy of the National Library of Medicine. It's again quite an interesting read. There's one little bit of information that I wanted to pass on to you before I jump into musical therapy. And it's relating to hormones. And I lost it. And I'm doing like Ratigan now on the weekend. I had the information here just now. Hormones. Endocrine cells are responsible for producing and releasing hormones into your bloodstream. There are more endocrine cells in your gut than any other organ, and they can create and release up to 20 different types of hormones happening in the gut, not the brain. While serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine are neurotransmitters, they also function as hormones. Serotonin specifically impacts your mood, sleep, and digestion, and your gut stores 95% of your body's serotonin. It is in your gut. What you eat can directly influence serotonin containing cells, meaning what you eat can affect your mood, it can affect your sleep, it can affect how you digest. Some other hormones that are present in the gut: melatonin, which is important for regulating sleep and wake cycles and reducing oxidation and inflammation in the body. Then there's ghrelin, also known as the hunger hormone, which tells the brain, hey, listen, I'm kind of hungry right now. And there's leptin, which sends signals to your brain when fullness or satiety, when you're satisfied. um, is when you're satisfied, then the leptin kicks in and says to your brain, listen, I am full, and you'll stop eating, or you'll slow down at minimum. Some people just can't stop. And some researchers have suggested that your gut microbiome can significantly affect energy balance and weight management. And since your gut hormones impact feelings of hunger and feelings of fullness, gut bacteria can influence how much you eat in a day and, as a direct result, affect your weight. So, what do? We make sure that we maintain a healthy gut environment as best as we can. We want to encourage the activity of leptin. So we want to pay attention to when we eat food and our body says, hey, listen, I'm good at this point. Again, I mentioned as I was growing up, I would eat mounds of food. My plate had to be full and running over almost. And I don't know what it was, but it was like a competition. Who can eat the most food? No. Was this a good competition? In hindsight, no. Because I guess it's catching up on me now because I'm starting to fill out and think. Because people who know me from as in my early 20s and looking at me now would definitely say, oh, Kevin, you have filled out. It only took a matter of time. But needless to say, I have, knock on wood, and give thanks to the Creator, maintained pretty good health thus far. And so, as I continue on my journey to maintain good health, I want to encourage you to do likewise. Watch what you eat, watch when you eat, watch how you eat. Be mindful of doing just that, eating. Let your meal time be mindfully present time. Take particular care in what it is that you're eating. If you want to count your chews, do so. If that will help you to be mindful, to stay present in your meal consumption. If you need to make it a spiritual event, whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that your meal time is sacred time, go ahead and do it. Because how you consume that meal could very well and affect how you feel after you consume that meal. Just a little bit of food for thought. All puns intended. As we break out into musical therapy, I want to thank you all for being the best part of the broadcast from now. Some of you might leave, some more people might join in, but I want to say thank you. Thank you, Elaine, for popping in. It's good to see you on this platform. Go ahead and invite someone. My next live night shift with DJ Kevin Steele will be next Wednesday, but the rebroadcast will happen tomorrow on affiliate platforms, 10 p.m. Eastern, and here on kevinsteele.com also. All right, but we're kicking off things for musical therapy with the one and only Miss Joanna Marie. Brand new track from her. It's called No Strings Attached.
Make a choice or you might get stuck. Lose your chance as you run out. Another might come and take up the ground. He may be the one sitting on the throne. If you love me with no strings attached. I'm not a puppet, don't want no part of that. If you love me, respect my heart. Love has to be real from the start.
This is Joanna Marie, and it's all about DJ Kevin Steele on the night shift. You feel for some stew? Check out Kevin Steele.
Love has to be real from the start. Who you gonna blame if you get left behind? You know what you got, so what you try to find. You can play the field if that's what you need. If that's a hunger you're trying to feed. Life makes no promises or give guarantees. The grass isn't greener. Make a choice or you might get stuck. Lose your chance as you run out. Another might come and take up the ground. He may be the one sitting on the throne. If you love me with no strings attached. I'm not a puppet, don't want no part of that. If you love me, respect my heart. Love has to be real from the start. If you love me with no strings attached. I'm not a puppet, don't want no part of that. If you love me, respect my heart. Love has to be real from the start. Who you gonna blame if you get left behind? You know what you got, so what you try to find. You can play the field if that's what you need. If that's a hunger you're trying to feed. Life makes no promises or give guarantees. The grass isn't greener from what you see. If you love me with no strings attached. I'm not a puppet, don't want no part of that. If you love me, respect my heart. Love has to be real from the start. If you love me with no strings attached. I'm not a puppet, don't want no part of that. If you love me, respect my heart. Love has to be real from the start. You have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Make up your mind, you can't have no doubt. If I'm the one to fill your cup, then you need to know which way is up. Wanting onward more than any outside. Careful not to slip, I may not be by your side. What you gonna do to fill the gap when your heart aches for me and it just won't stop? If you love me with no strings attached. I'm not a puppet, don't want no part of that. If you love me, respect my heart. Love has to be real from the start. You say you wanna be with me, yet
Kevin Stew, all manners and respect is due, cause you are carry the music and the culture right through. Pick up yourself, Cesar Cesar. Bless.
And you took them for granted.
This is music from Cesar.
You made them feel bad way too long. And you
Here's our rendition of If You Ain't Ever Been Lonely.
they said they would be back, and you'd smile. Never believe it. Say goodbye. You were so mean, no reason why. Say you don't mean it, still won't try. Said that they'd leave back, and you'd smile. Never believe it. Say goodbye. You receive love and leave a cry. Say you don't mean it. Oh, but if you ain't never been lonely, then if you ain't never been lost, if you ain't never been broken, pretty sure you will find out. And if you ain't never been lonely, and if you ain't given it thought, you wake it up and it's you only, then you can't fix what went wrong. You can't fix what went You saw them with some other love, and you traded your glances. You'd like to say you're sorry now, but not you. Not what you fancy. She said she would leave back, and you'd smile. Never believed she'd say goodbye. You were so mean, no reason why. Say you don't mean it, still won't try. Said that they'd leave back, and you'd smile. Never believed it. Say goodbye. You receive love and leave a cry. Say you don't mean it. Oh, but if you ain't never been lonely, then if you ain't never been lost, if you ain't never been broken, pretty sure you will find out. And if you ain't never been lonely, and if you ain't given it thought, you wake it up and it's you only, and you can't fix what went wrong. And now that you've seen it all, it's much too late to turn around and go back now. Now that you see it, nobody else compensates. Now that she's gone, I guess you found out. And if you ain't never been lonely, then if you ain't never been lost, if you ain't never been broken, pretty sure you will find out. And if you ain't never been lonely, then if you ain't given it thought, you wake it up and it's you only, and you can't fix what went wrong. You smiled and I found myself in trouble. I can't relieve.
This is music from L Third.
You broke my defense line.
It's called Only When Close.
Where I'm falling for you like raindrops in June. But I won't lie, everything feels like Christmas when I'm with you. All the feelings I get, it's only when close to you.
something that you call home and stay.
A little more Joanna Marie for you.
You told me you needed more walks, more talks, more feeling.
Her rendition of Maybe We Can Try Again.
I wanna be close to you.
Could we?
Didn't know you needed some roses, some romance, a little candlelight, slow dance. That's not how it's been. Maybe we can try again. Try, yeah. Maybe we can try again. I remember all the days gone by, and I'm wondering what I couldn't see. Yeah, baby. I could search the whole world over and never find what you have always given me. I told you I needed more time, more space, more freedom, free to do what you wanna do. I gave you no roses, no romance, no candlelight, no slow dance. That's just how it's been. Ooh, maybe we can try again. Try, yeah. Maybe we can try again. Try. Oh, maybe we can try again. Yeah. Baby. Yeah. Ooh. I remember when you told me you needed more walks, more talks, more feeling close to me. I wanna be close to you. I'll give you some roses, lot of romance, a little candlelight, slow dance. Don't let this feeling end. Maybe we can try again. Try. Maybe we can try again. Try. Maybe we can try again. We can try again. We can try again. Maybe we can try again. We can try again. We can try again. Maybe we can try again. We can try again. We can try again. Maybe we can try again. We can try again. We can try again. Maybe we can try.
This is Son of Armageddon.
You remind me of Empress Minel. I love you like the Empress.
I love you like the Empress you are.
So please sing this Empress anthem. Love you like the Empress that you are. You remind me of Empress Minel. I love you like the Empress that you are. I'm glad that you are more than just a friend. Alright, yo. Oh, daughters of Zion, I am black and I'm comely. Fear not that your rising sun, it has ever looked upon me. Kissing you with kisses from my heart. Darling, you know that your love is precious than wine. Every time you speak, you know your speech is entertaining. I can see doves in your eyes. Alright, yo. Woman, you're natural, you're highly spiritual. No pork, no mixing on your pot. Alright, yo. And then I'm tantalized, waiting in vain so long. I wanna give you all I've got. Oh, I love you like the Empress that you are. You remind me of Empress Menen. I love you like the Empress that you are. So please sing this Empress anthem. Love you like the Empress that you are. And you remind me of Empress Menen. I love you like the Empress that you are. And I am glad that you are more than just a friend. Me love her bad. When time for greet her, she have to get a tread. With no complication, yo, if she said, well, I don't know what I would do. Oh gosh, Lord of mercy. Me say I'm me and Bessa and she love Womitan. Rastafari give her strength, me are the crown champion. She love the vibe she get from the Armageddon. Natural Empress, idle meditation. Coca-Cola bottle shape, them are the type of girl we love. The girl we know so fit, a bigger figure girl we love. All the girls around the world and very few would make the cut. Her smell and her talk and her touch, girl, I love you like the Empress that you are.
Wanna say big up to all the Empresses.
I love you like the Empress that you are. So please sing this Empress.
More than that, I just want to thank you all for tuning in. As we part company,
Remind me of Empress Menen.
do remember to look out for members of your community. Your community is not just development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. So those that you pass on the bus, the plane, the boat, the train, whether you walk, ride, or drive, these are members of your community. Go ahead and do something good for one of them today. You never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. And as you go on your journey, do remember to eat right. If you eat right, you'll feel right. And then we'll all be alright. Thank you to the affiliates. Truly appreciate love each and every one of you. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world. From right here in South Florida, I bid you all a good night. Go ahead and be good. If you can't be good at it.
Every time you speak, you know you speak.
Catch you on Saturday, 3 p.m. Reason with Ratigan.
I love you like the Empress that you are. You remind me of it.
Remember, the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew happens tomorrow night. With a pre-recorded broadcast. Take care until we meet again. Much love.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.